Well, well, well. Let's get voice attack up and running here. That'll work. That might work. How do I sound? I probably sound like a radio.
All systems ready to go.
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. When the game bar coming up? There we go. Well, I shall return shortly. some love and I can never need love before. I
Welcome
wanna
to
make
Federal
love to you.
Space.
That's already done.
In the interest of facilitating the flow of pedestrian traffic, visitors are reminded not to loiter in the thoroughfares. Welcome to Federal Space.
That's already done.
Welcome to Federal Space.
Easy working now? No, of course.
Less viable it's going to be. So
Yeah.
Is it working
it's like
now?
I'm still. Yeah, it's working.
Okay. I don't know why I have to reset the devices every time I come into a party.
Nothing special. I'm just talking about WoW on Elite, as always.
It's
Griping.
another Tuesday.
Yeah,
Monday.
griping about how other people didn't live up to my expectations.
There are conflicts all over this system that need soldiers. Ready to gear up?
I don't know. I think it's. I suppose as a not sweaty tryhard guild, he can play whatever he wants. I'm just. He's the guild leader, so if he wants to put himself with all the selfish buffs, then okay. I guess.
You want to
But
make a difference?
yeah.
This
could we then get him to
want
agree
to
then
cash in your
to
bonds? No problem.
reduce the workload for me so that I'm not running out of mana?
Come back when you're ready to fight.
Because then I feel like a dope, right? I just wasted all my mana trying to keep people alive in the early phases, which I can do, right? I'll get us to that phase, but then he has to understand I'm going to be useless for the rest of the fight because it cost me everything to get
Welcome
us
to
there.
Apex Interstellar, the first step to everywhere.
Well, I think he needs to remove himself from the Shadow Priest group. I think he needs to understand that
That's
he's
perfect.
got
That's
his
Thank you for choosing Apex Interstellar.
regen and also Promocus, and he just needs to quit being selfish, and he needs to give the Shadow Priest to you. And I do agree that Rochambeau should be in there because they have the same problem with you. The regen isn't that great, so they need that Shadow Priest to be effective in healing. It can be done without, but it requires a lot of mana
At least you get Mana
Conservation.
Tide, though. Right? Like, you
Yeah.
get Mana Spring and Mana Tide. Those are strong buffs that you can get.
Right, but
To your mana.
the heals are more expensive. Like, the heals are very expensive on a shaman, and so you can go very quickly, with the rest of shaman, just like you can a paladin, even with the mana tide, and so you have to then.
Welcome aboard.
You can compensate when you don't have Shadow Priest by using lower cast spells and knowing exactly which one to use to kill them to full but not overkill. So like normally I would get like 30%, 20% overheal as a Resto Shaman. There was one time I was not put in the Shadow Priest group in one of the hardest fights in TBC, and I was actually off healing a tank with no Shadow Priest as a Resto Shaman, and I still managed to get top kills over the other Resto Shaman who had Shadow Priest, and I think it was like 10% overheal, just crazy number. And basically at the end of the fight I was boom. Like it was like perfect mana conservation.
Well, and so Smooth Brain was just like, okay, we'll just heal better, dude. Conserve your mana. Like, don't. You know what? Everybody on the healing chart. So I'm like, I think on that particular wipe, I was second top heals. The only the person above me was Banana by a small margin.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Is Smooth Brain somebody's gamer tag or just
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
you call
that's-
it? Okay.
Yeah,
He's also a Smooth Brain.
Okay,
he
just
is a Smooth Brain.
had to double check
totally-
there.
He's definitely a Smooth Brain.
Yeah, he's
Not all wrinkly like yours.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, Banana was top heals by a small margin on that one, but Smooth Brain was just like, oh well, you just need to conserve your mana and heal better. And I looked at the chart after the log afterwards, and Banana had like 50% over heal. The other Paladin had like 60% over heal. A couple of people had like 47% over heal. I had like 28% over heal. Like, because I've gotten so used to not having what I need to get the job done. I've trained myself not to waste anything.
yeah.
28% overheal is ridiculous for a paladin. That's like I'm hardly overhealing at this point. And the only overheal I get is for when the tank is full health and I'm throwing down ranked heals.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to address that because honestly, addressing it with him is going to cause a big problem.
You mean
but-
confronting Smooth Brain about?
No, not not Smooth Brain, but Banana. Like he should not be in the Shadow Priest group. Just hands down, he should not.
He took
And-
himself out of the Shadow Priest group recently in the newer raids.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't move a healer in, he just moved himself out and put a DPS in.
Okay. Well, at least that's fair. If he
Fair,
only-
yes, but dumb, yes, also.
Oh, I agree. Well, it's partly because of the Shadow Priest. I don't know what complaints they made, but
I mean, I get
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, at this point, could we just get another Shadow Priest then, and put one in every group? Just we'll have a Shaman and Shadow Priest in every group then.
Well, it's not about getting a new Shadow Priest. It's about getting one to replace the ones we currently. There's no reason to have more than two, but
So we just get somebody who's more amenable to having the healers in their group.
Yep. And like I said, if they're wanting to parse, that's fine. We can accommodate, but you alternate them out of the healing group, Shadow Priest group each week. The one does the healing group 1 week, one does, they just alternate, and that way they still have a chance to parse, they still have a chance to get better DPS that they want. but they've got to understand that they're there for a reason, and unfortunately, it's not their DPS. It is for their mana regen. It's just the facts. It's kind of like me. I'm not there for my DPS. You could easily replace me with another DPS that does more damage than me. But I am increasing people's output, just like the Shadow Priest does in the damage group, because they have more mana. So like having a Shadow Priest group with the Arcane Mages, brilliant. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, and as I said, if I was the Shadow Priest, I already know that this is my job. I'm to give mana to the healers. And as I said, I'd be glad to do it. If I was providing tons of mana to the healers, and they were able to get all the healing that they need done for us to get through the content, and they would, they're excited and appreciative to be in my group. That's all I'd care about. I'm not gonna get the top bars on DPS, but I get the satisfaction of having done something that is widely appreciated.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll be arriving shortly.
It's an important role.
Well, it's kind of like me. I know that if I was not in that group, all the DPS would probably be doing 1/3, possibly even 1/2 the damage they're doing. And I basically, in my opinion, I'm the one adding that DPS. And because I'm there, I can basically kind of say, okay, because I'm there,
The Wind
this
Fury
much
is
extra
my
damage
DPS.
is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, like I can say, you know what? I am giving you this extra DPS, and therefore I am more valuable to the raid
well,
than
at the end of
someone
it,
who's doing.
when you check the logs, you look at your DPS, and then you add on all of the DPS that other people did because of Wind Fury proc,
Mm-hmm.
and call that your DPS.
Yeah.
And then, that being the case, your DPS might actually be top DPS.
Right. It's true. It's harder to factor in, like, say, Elemental or Balanstrud or
Because it goes into crit chance, and
crit chance and the buff to healing the 100.
Have a nice day.
And then there's also my buffs
TSR
aren't
J0024.
Wind Fury. I have the totems. I have the extra attack power to the extra crit because I have Grace of Air down because I'm Tota Twisting, and then I've got when I crit I give everyone an extra 10% attack power, so 10% additional attack
That's
power
what
on
happens.
top of what they already have.
Absolutely
and
nothing.
It really adds up. So it's not even just Wind Fury. It's just a lot of extra damage output for everyone else.
Do I need to actually type it?
That's why, like, the few times you've probably heard, like, when I'm going in and doing, like, PvP, they're like, oh yeah, Tax is just blowing people up. Well, it's because in PvP, you're really kind of just on your own, and you're not really necessarily buffing people. You're not kind of standing still and using other people's buffs to do damage, and so, yeah, I
is it
actually
O
do
at
a
the
lot of
end?
damage in PvP
That must be what you mean. O at the end.
compared to, some of the other classes.
Fuck did that take me?
your damage comes out pretty quick When you get that crit, you can kill somebody really quick.
Yeah, I mean my damage comes in bursts.
Oh,
so
is that
basically I
the
have a
lowest
large
point on the
amount of
plane?
damage come
I think
out,
I've
and
actually
then there's a
been there on
lull,
my
and then a
Xbox
large
account.
amount of damage, and then a lull. And then if the stars align, then there's a lot of damage, like you're dead damage coming out.
Occasionally, you get a crit that's. I remember you told me that time that you got the largest crit you've ever gotten, and you crit something for 28,000. Killed it instantly.
Well, no, that's the DPS. It's obviously a fake number, but like I did like 10,000 damage, but it was like the DPS meter, because it was done and instantly, thought it was, like 28,000 damage per second. When really it wasn't.
You're
Full
confusing
story, bro.
the damage meeting. The
Yeah.
damage meter thing.
Yeah, basically.
I signed
Well,
up for their SSC on Thursday. I hope it goes better than KT. That's disgusting.
Yeah. I just can't. I can't do that stuff anymore, unfortunately. I can raid on Fridays and Saturdays, and possibly eventually not even those days. I don't know. I can do Fridays and Saturdays, so.
So when you eventually are not able to play, are you just gonna leave the guild?
I don't know. I'm gonna try and see if I can still play.
I'm just
But-
imagining getting all. I'll finally my character will be level 70. I'll get geared all the way up to like T6 gear on my shaman, and then you'll stop raiding. I'll be like, all right, see you guys, bye. I'm like, god damn. I don't know, if I felt like I didn't have any ties, I might shop around and see if I can find a guild that's willing to give me a Shadow Priest on my
Well, and you
favorite class.
And honestly, if you want to devote time, you could just find a hardcore guild that would give you a Shadow Priest. And isn't so
Feel-
petty. Like, find a guild where the guild leader is not a healer.
I feel like the Holy Paladin is well respected in the community. Like, people don't realize that the Paladin actually has the ability to be a decent healer. Most people think that like the Paladin's actually a shitty healer and they're only good for tank healing, and that the best they can do is Flash of Light and get like bottom heals by a huge margin. That seems to be the consensus online anyway. That public
Well,
thinks that Holy
Oh,
Paladins
shit.
are terrible.
most people on those public realms are not good players. They're just random people that are probably in some shitty guild that doesn't clear any content. If you got a hardcore top of the line guild, they understand that the Paladin has a specific chore and can do quite well with a skilled player.
Launch ship.
So,
Warcraft logs won't allow me to go back and look at
Launch
my old parses.
ship.
That you can't even
Launch.
select the old bosses anymore for P2.
Initiating.
I think that's annoying because what if you want to look at somebody's previous stuff for the past year?
I don't know.
All
I looked at
systems
it the other
prepared.
day. Look at mine.
You can look at your
Final
logs
checks
maybe,
to
but
ascend
like it doesn't
corrupt
show up
vector
on your
controls.
player page. There's no way
Stand
to
by for
access it
launch.
from there.
Oh,
Like if you're just like let's say you don't have any of their parses and all you know is their name and you look them up on Warcraft logs. The best you can do from there is get a parse from the current phase. Which all of my parses will look like trash, and I can't.
I don't know. When I go to Warcraft logs and look up me specifically, it gives me my rank for
It gives me my rank overall for SSC.
well,
Like
it gives me Karazhan, it gives me phase 2, it gives me phase 3, it gives me
But if you click on it, it just shows the same T6 bosses except not lit up. Like
Well,
it doesn't actually work.
I've got the, well, it has like phase 1, 2, 2.5, 3.
If you click on
tabs.
those though, like if you click on those tabs, it doesn't actually lead you to a place where you can see it. It's
Oh.
like broken.
Oh, works for me. I don't know what's wrong on your end, but I have no problem looking at that stuff. Like, I look at my SSC stuff and KT stuff all
That's
the time
already
because
done.
I actually have really good parses on Bash and KT. And I actually parsed very well on, let's see, Tidewalker. Last go at it.
Hyperspace jump.
Funny enough, my worst parse is
Engage jump
Hydros.
drive.
And that's because when we first started
Frameshift
doing
drive
Hydros, I
charging.
kept pulling aggro off Scrubby. And so now I'm kind of like gun shy about going off because every time I do, I just get smashed.
You're all clear. Have a safe trip, Commander.
Just absolutely smashed.
Course adjustment.
I'll pull aggro off the tanks because they're in their resistance gear, and so I don't pull as much threat.
Adding information.
Did I make Ray Ray mad somehow?
Oh no, he's
No,
just,
he got off a
he's
while
just
ago.
tired. He was.
You probably heard my noise of coming in. It woke him up.
Yeah, yeah. I think he might have fallen asleep. No, he
left the
said
party.
he was.
Yeah, he left like 1 second after I came in.
He
No,
already
yeah.
said he was getting off before you joined the party.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing to do with you.
Yeah, he actually hates you a lot. So like he didn't want to be here when you arrived.
That's fine. I've made fun of him quite a bit. Just not to his face, but to his face sometimes he just
Doesn't recognize it.
doesn't recognize it. Like when he was what was it? He was talking and complaining about somebody that wouldn't shut up.
That's rich of him.
And I was just like, yeah, some people just don't know when to turn the mute button on. And then he goes and agrees with me.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Oh my god, that's so rich.
He does talk a lot. That's for sure.
Engage jump drive.
Drives engaged.
Drive charging.
So I did 3 war
It
zones.
doesn't work for me. I don't know how you managed to get it so that you can see your old logs. Like for me, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I looked at my old parses. I looked at it shows me every single boss for phase 2. So KT, SSC and TK.
As you wish.
And then I looked at my parses like I think it was
Stand by.
not last week, the week
Cross M
before last
stars.
time we did Tidewalker. I went back
Cross
and
M stars
yeah,
are
my-
red stars that form the bulk of the main sequence stars in the galaxy.
saw that I parsed well,
As
and
is
then I
low,
went for
as is
my
their surface temperature.
actually searched my character because I wanted to see where that put me as far as ranks go. 'Cause I'm in for each phase. I'm in the purple rank area. Good. Because I don't play my shaman as a hardcore DPSer. Like if I wanted to do more DPS, I'd be popping case potions every boss fight, which would probably increase my damage by another, I don't know, maybe 200 DPS or so.
Am I looking for
And
Peril Prospect?
I'd probably be right up there with Nick God, and depending on some fights, even surpassing him.
Paul Skellington.
But I don't have that kind of money to spend in World of Warcraft as far as gold goes. Ace pots are so expensive.
My best performance average reached 98.6% parse.
75%.
before you got removed from the
75%.
Chapters group.
Yeah, which reduced
60%.
my median performance average to 90.7.
50%.
50%.
Damn.
Dude, that's so distressing. Like, looking back at my old parses, Hydros, 99. Lurker, 95. Leotheris, 99. Fathom Lord, 99. Mogrim Tidewalker, 98. Lady Vash, 99. Alar, 99. Void Reaver, 99. High Astromancer Solarian, 97. And Kel'Thas Sunstrider, 99. Like, for phase 2, I crushed it.
75%.
75%.
You know, I'm glad I never got into WoW. I feel like I'd have absolutely zero life.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, it's
it does take
yeah,
quite a bit of-
it sucks all your life away from you.
Although I probably would have spent a lot less money on sim racing equipment. I don't
Yeah,
like
I
thinking
mean,
about how much that shit was.
Well, I mean, you're paying $15 every month for WoW, basically. So
I'm paying
Does
30
that
bucks
up?
a quarter for iRacing, plus whenever another track comes out, that's another $15.
30
card
bucks
comes
a
out.
quarter.
Yeah,
Dear God.
it's totally worth it though. It's like the first 2 years of it are really expensive, but then you own most of the content after that.
Ah, I was joking with Benedictus during Black Temple. I told him the day that Banana took me out of the Shadow Priest group and Shaman group, I felt like the Blood Elves when the Sunwell was destroyed. Like, I had like a source of infinite mana, and then all of a sudden it's taken away. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so addicted. Freaking mana addict.
I'm curious. I bet you in the Heller group, they probably hate me. They're like, "Ah, fucking Taxi died again."
No, they don't really care. They mostly just make fun of DPS, but I think probably the only person they hate right now is Banana, because he took us out of the Shadow Priest group. So probably he's the only person that everybody hates. I think Bellbear really doesn't get along with him. He makes a lot of old person jokes. I don't think Bell likes that very much. Like, he laughs and jokes around, kinda. Like, he'll brush it off, but I actually think he hates it.
Request talking.
If we crack
I
these great
honestly
red
wouldn't
arrows
care
off
about
Volcano
stuff
Day,
like that.
I don't even want to think about the conditions
I
of
just
any
think,
cargo.
I
So,
think,
flies safely.
Who
think-
is...
I think Banana abuses his power as being guild leader when it comes to healing to his own benefit, which then in turn actually harms the potential of
Request
the
talking.
healing
He
group.
just reinforces his
Oh,
own personal
something from
belief
me
that he's the best healer
Yes,
in the
Your
guild.
Honor.
Yes. Exactly.
And nobody can even get close to him right now on heals
That was
because
stupid.
obviously he has more buffs than everybody. So he has more mana to spend. So
Power
literally
to
we can't
shields.
match him because we'll just run out of mana.
Aft shields.
I can try. I mean, I
Power to
get
systems.
close to everybody else on
Sorting it.
heals, but like I'm still pretty low on the healing chart now because of it.
That was probably loud. I'm sorry.
That's already
Well,
done.
If you had the Shadow Priest, you'd out heal him.
Shields
Oh
online.
yeah, probably. I might not. I probably wouldn't out heal Bell, and maybe in some circumstances I wouldn't out heal Ro, depending on the encounter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure I could out heal Banana.
Who typically is on the top of the charts now? Is it usually Bell?
Jansky, a
It's
unit
Bellbear.
used
It's
in
always
radio
Bellbear.
astronomy to indicate
And
the flux
whenever I
density,
say that,
the rate of
Banana gets
flow of
like,
radio waves, of
like
electromagnetic
Bellbear
radiation received
got
from
top
outer
heals today, and
space.
he'll be like,
A typical
he
radio
sometimes
source
had
has
some
a
top
spectral
heals
flux
on there,
density
and
of
he
roughly
sometimes,
1
you know,
GY.
hit the top.
The
And
Jansky
I'm like,
was
no,
named
dude,
to honor
like,
Karl
legit,
Gauss
Bellbear got top
Jansky.
heals any which
He
way you look
developed
at it.
radio
And I'll
astronomy
be like,
in
yeah, well, sometimes Bell
1932.
does well, but he's,
Request
you know,
complete.
he's not the top healer. And I'm like, well, that's not what the parse says. Parse says that he is top heals. He did the most healing done, and he has a higher parse than you. And he'll look at the logs, and it's even better because he'll look at the logs, and Bellbear will be top heals, and guess who will be number 2?
Who?
Yours truly. I'll be number 2, and he'll be like 3 or 4.
Funny
It's
shit.
like, oh man. I don't know. Tonight's log. Trash looked garbage, but I'm pretty sure my KT fails were on point. Let me see.
And then it's funny though, because when that happens, he'll come back and say like, "Well, top heals doesn't necessarily mean you're a better healer."
No, I know I
It's
know
about-
exactly what he's gonna say. He'll be like, "Top
Launch.
heals. You should. Well, instead of having top heals, you should have been worried about keeping the tank alive." I'll be like, "Okay, what do you go and check and see which people I did the most healing to?"
All systems ready to go.
The tank.
Yeah, but he's always
Final
like, "Oh,
checks
well,
to ascent
instead
thrust
of
vector controls
healing people in
complete.
the raid,
Stand
you
by
should
for
just
launch."
focus on the tank." And I'm like, "Okay, imagine how much wasted potential we'd have if that's all I did."
Well, you know why he wants you to do that, so he can heal them instead.
But then
Of
he
course, sure.
doesn't. But then he doesn't heal them, and then they die.
Sure.
Like, on all of the times that he's told me not to do something, we fucking wipe it up because, like, I'll practice it the way he asked me to do it once, and I'll be like, no, I'm not fucking doing that again, because he was like, just heal the tank, that's it. And then I'd do that, and then people in the raid would die, and he'd be like, oh, well, we just have too many people dead, so it's a wipe. And it's like, okay, we wouldn't have too many people dead if I healed them.
Right.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just throwing down rank heals on the tank while everybody dies.
Right. No, I'm 100% on board with what you're saying. Like, I
Love
he purposely, and he thinks it's not obvious, but it's so damn obvious that when he tells you something, it's not necessarily for the betterment of the raid, it's for his personal benefit, which he then, but I think he actually thinks it's a benefit to the raid because he gets to do more healing. Like, that's his way of justifying the change, is
Because he
thinks it'll
doesn't
help the
trust
guild.
other people.
There are
Right.
claims that the Imperial
Right. He
Senate
thinks
is
that
preventing
he's
efforts
so
to
good
examine
that
a
if he has
potential
that,
link between the Empire's
if you're not
security
doing it and
services
he's
and
doing
the
it, then
NMMA.
it's better.
Captain Saskia Landau has publicly stated that the terrorists' dark comms
I'm just
network is
looking at
closely
these
related to the
numbers.
Omega
Almost all of these,
grid system used
I know he
exclusively by
says that the
Imperial
parse
intelligence.
doesn't mean anything
She
if you don't down
expanded
the
on her
boss, but I
theory
don't
in
know
a
if that's
statement to
necessarily
Vox
true.
Galactica,
I mean, they
based
still
on
measure it
evidence
against
and
people who
interrogation
didn't
transcripts
kill the
obtained
boss.
by ACT.
Jumping the Nexus.
Well, I mean, I would say it's an indication,
I believe
could
that
be an
rogue
indication
elements
whether
within
you're doing your
Imperial
job or not,
intelligence were training and providing equipment to the NMMA.
and doing it well
This would help
versus
explain the
maybe
level of
not pulling
sophistication
your
they
weight
achieved
like
in
the
coordinating their starport attacks
other healers has
without detection.
barely 1k
There is
more
certainly an enough circumstantial
was that
proof
buff
to
or
warrant a
unbuffed?
dedicated investigation. But the
For
Senate is
the,
refusing
that's
to
true.
that was buffed 8K.
Which
What
makes me
the?
wonder what they are
I
trying
have.
to hide.
I think it's like.
Senator Carl Nerva reiterated.
If I remember right, I think it's
for
either
ACT to devolve
They're-
and
I wanna
return
say it's
much-needed resources
7.5
to Empire where they belong.
buff
Their
on my Elliot.
their unbuffed was like 7,800 mana. And they were wearing gear too. They're wearing all that same gear that it looks like Banana's wearing.
Yeah.
So I mean I wanted to whisper Banana and be like, is that normal for Resto Druid to only have 8K mana? Is that a thing for them? Like that, like this? Maybe it is, right? Like they do that in the spirit. Like the spirit helps them get through the fight. I don't know, but like my character, for instance, fully buffed, I'm almost 14,000 mana.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's barely more mana than the enhancement shaman has.
No, I mean they were constantly out of mana, constantly. Let me see if I can find a good parse where they. Yeah, Laura Light was bottom heels below our other holy paladin. Who got? Oh my god! Look at this, 72% overheal.
What the hell, dude?
72% overheal.
I'll be right back. I gotta update this app, the Game Bar app.
All right.
They got.
Senator Caspian Leopold responded, "To alleviate any lack of confidence in our security services, we should examine Captain Landau's allegation rigorously. Our citizens must be reassured that Imperial intelligence exists solely for their protection." Superpowers plan to replace Aegis. The Alliance, Empire, and Federation have accepted the Bauman Report's recommendation to permanently shut down Aegis.
Adjusting for jump.
The independent inquiry's findings on the organization's failings will result in Aegis being immediately shut down. However, Chief Administrator Carter Armstrong has cautioned that full demobilization of staff, ships, and resources might take several months. Senator Denton Patrias has successfully obtained senatorial approval for an increased military budget to allow the Imperial Navy to directly
He
take
did
on the role played by
78.1k
Aegis.
heals. That's it.
Fleet Admiral Tayo Makori likewise confirmed that the Federal Congress has ordered the creation of a new naval
Hey, it's
cyber.
we're actually working right
On
now.
his own authority, he has also commissioned
Oh,
an
the
investigation
sound
into
stuff?
Salvation, following Rand
Well,
Towers'
the
testimony
like you know how you hit
regarding the nature
the
of the
Windows
anti-Semitic
key and
superweapon.
G and it's supposed to pop
Admiral
open?
Nicholas Glass, who was
Oh,
recently
yes.
It
appointed
wasn't
to the
doing
Council
that. I
of
had to
Admirals,
like
stated
search
that
it
the
up in the
Alliance Defense
this
Force
Windows
and
search
Sirius
bar
Navy
every
will
time and
work
open
in
it to
conjunction
change
fulfill
anything.
Aegis's purpose.
That's weird. Like,
Xenological
I've
research
found that if you go in the
laboratory
actual
set up by Professor
Xbox
Albert
app,
Castro will now
it's
transfer
much
their
slower
work
than
to
the
specialist
Windows
departments
G
in the Holloway
stuff.
Bioscience
Like the Windows G
Institute.
stuff just pops
Imperial
up
Science
instantly.
Academy.
Yeah, no,
Whereas
it was
the
acting
actual
funny, and I
app's
just
kinda
looked at it, and they released an update today and
Thargoids made targeted strikes against
updated it,
Aegis
and now it's
labs,
working right.
but all
So
three institutions have made
must have been a
assurances
Got me
hot fix for
curious. I'm
something.
gonna hop on my
locations will have the
hop
highest
on my
security.
computer because my phone's not working properly on this Warcraft logs thing. But
K. Massey wins
like, I'm
mining
curious
contract.
to see
Pilots Federation alert.
how bad
The Kane Massey Corporation
This-
has beaten
this,
Torval Mining Limited to
Druid-
retain a mining contract.
Adjusting for jump.
In the Dullo system, competing campaigns were waged by
So,
the two rivals for the right
on
to supply
wipe
or
one-
unmined materials to many
oh,
local
this is an
subsidiaries.
invalid log.
Johann
Never mind.
Fleischer,
Wipe
Vice
two.
President of Kane Massey, declared their victory. We wish to thank the large
I did
number of
3
pilots
ground
who
war
delivered
zones in Nate
Bromeliad,
yesterday, and
Sumerian,
it
and
went
Galite.
from
Thanks to your hard work, Our contract has been
Like
renewed
almost
for another
losing the
decade.
war completely
I like to
to
think that we have also secured the honor of the Federation by
being
stalling
almost
the
a full
Empire's
green
plans.
bar.
Rewards for contributors to
Nice.
Somebody
Cade
dispelled
Massey
Banana,
are now
by the way.
available for
he
collection
put
at
on his thing.
Smithport in the Dulles system. Torval
Oh,
Mining
there it
Limited
was.
also received many
was the other
deliveries
Holy
of
Paladin.
materials, but in
I
insufficient
just-
quantities to secure the contract.
So I'm looking at Mana.
Constantia Torval has confirmed that the pilots who supported their
Resources.
initiative can collect payment at the Pride of Bitterwood megaship. The missing
No, I got
Emperor,
really good at conserving
Princess
my mana,
Ashley
so I always
has
start to
discussed
do
growing
pretty
concerns
decent.
over Emperor Arisa Lavishly Devas's lack of public engagement
Okay, so
in recent months.
put it in
In
perspective.
an interview with the Imperial
I
Herald,
did
she said, Chancellor Blaine assures us
more
that the
than
Emperor has been
twice
kept in
the
seclusion
healing
for
of
nearly
the
a year to
druid,
protect her from the NMA.
and they ran out of
But why
mana
has this
around the same
prevented
time as
Empire's
me
ruler
at
from
the end of the
engaging with
fight.
her citizens? After all, Hadrian Duval and his family were placed under the same senatorial protection without disappearing altogether.
Which would make sense because
We
I
know
have
that
twice
the
the
Emperor has
mana.
communicated with the Senate on various matters during this time. Government channels are generally trusted thanks
Yeah,
to
but it doesn't make sense because they have.
And they were
Imperial
using Innervate when they
Intelligence's
died
verification protocols.
because it was a wipe.
But Captain Landau's recent testimony,
Then
which
they're in
links
the middle of
Imperial
using Innervate
intelligence
and
to
then it
the
tapered
NMLA,
off
has me
at.
concerned. How
Okay,
can
so
I
their
be sure
total
that a
mana,
person from our most secure
total
networks
buff was
wasn't responsible for the
9,065.
location and murder of my father, Prince Harold?
Still
Until
not very
Arisa
good.
appears in person, it is irresponsible to assume her safety is guaranteed.
And
I
mine
would be
was
most relieved
13,398.
to have my fears proved wrong. Chancellor Anders Blaine responded,
Crow
with the
just sent me a
greatest
message.
respect, Princess Duval, I have never had cause to
He
believe
asked
that Her
me, are we
Majesty
still
the
doing
Emperor is
BGS?
in any danger from her own security agencies. Her imminent return to public life should alleviate such concerns.
But I'm doing missions right now.
Federal
I'm
government
looking at-
plans for the future. President
Wondering if
Zachary
you're doing,
Hudson
like,
has
bounties or
delivered a
something.
speech to Congress on maintaining security for the Federation in the
I'm just
coming
messing with
years.
Warcraft logs right now
Excerpts
because
from
I'm
his address include the following.
I'm
In the last year, we have excelled at protecting
waste of
federal
space.
citizens from harm.
I'm
The
just
proactive
trading in my
protection
Type 7
Bureau
trying to
has
make some
worked
money.
locating terrorists before they could
But
strike,
And then I
and our
used a
security
pot
services
and
played an
gained most
instrumental
of his
role in the
mana.
NMLA's defeat. 3,308 is already bringing many challenges. The war against the Thargoids could escalate at any time.
Did I
and we
waste any
face the
mana?
challenge of
Curious.
replacing Aegis with our own anti-Xenon task
Nope.
force.
No
We are
mana
also deeply
wasted.
concerned about increased infighting within the Alliance and Empire, which could easily spill over
I like
into
how
our
when
territory.
the time
My
Banana was
administration
like
is
getting on
holding
people's
high-level
cases
discussions
about
how
wasted
best
mana.
to keep the Federation strong
And he was
and
like-
secure. We will soon make some
Like,
brave proposals
we were
to
looking at
continue
somebody
using our
else's
people's
thing.
constitutional right
I'm
to
forgetting
safety.
who, and
Shadow
they
President
wasted
Felicia
like
Winters
400
delivered this
mana
rebuttal.
or something like that.
President Hudson fails to mention
And
the disastrous
or no, it wasn't
attempts
400.
to capture Yuri Grom,
No, it was a
his
lot. It was
former
like
fleet
4,000
admiral's
that they
criminal
wasted.
conviction for destroying Starship
And
One,
Banana was all
although
over
his
their
surveillance
case,
laws
and
forced several systems to declare independence.
someone was, I
would
can't remember
argue
why,
that
but
under
someone
his
was being
leadership,
spicy with
the
me.
Federation has
And I
never
was just
been
like, wow,
weaker
I would have
or
never
less
wasted
secure.
mana. Like, you know, that never happens.
Return of the
And
Alexandria.
they were
Pilots
like, well,
Federation
shut up,
alert.
you probably wasted a shitload of
Aegis
mana.
megaship
And
Alexandria
Banana checked my
vanished
parse
in
and I didn't waste
hyperspace
any
7
mana.
months ago,
And he
has been
did
found in the
on his
Rega
character,
TC
and I was like,
XB290 system. A select
because he
group
was
of independent
so
pilots
hoping to get that
located the
smackdown on me and put me
Alexandria
down,
following a
but then
search
it ended up
instigated
being
by
like put down
Professor
for
Albert
himself.
Tesreau, former
Who
head
was
of
that?
research at
Banana.
DIS.
Paladin?
Because I was,
She was
alright, so
forced to
Banana was
resign as a
pointing
result of
out
the
that other
Bauman
people were
report,
wasting
which
mana.
was instigated
And
by
I,
the controversial loss of this megaship.
No, I said, wow, that's a lot of mana. And then Banana got like kind of irritated, and he was just like, well, you know, you better shut up or I'll go and look at your numbers, Nemesis. And I was like, okay, go do that. And he looked at my number, and it was 0. Like, I wasted 0 mana. And then I was like, okay, so let's look at your number then. And we looked over, and he wasted some mana. It was like 200. And I was like, tee. because he shot himself in the foot by drawing attention to it.
According to
I was like,
on-site
I didn't waste any
witnesses,
mana, but
the
you
remains
did.
of the Alexandria are currently scattered
He tried to
across
put
the
me down
planetary
and ended
ring.
up putting himself down.
The thing is he passively aggressively puts you down all the time.
But it's funny because he ended up putting himself down instead.
AB2A.
Yeah.
Ships
I'll
are
stop
investigating
request
the
docking.
I
debris,
actually think
but so
he
far have not
thinks
reported finding any survivors or
that
Guardian
he
relics.
is
Chief
doing the guild a
Administrator
favor by
Carter
someone
Armstrong
thinks he
made a
does,
public statement.
but
Losing the
in reality,
I'll
Alexandria
stop.
was tragic as it was
He's
mysterious,
just selfish.
but we now have an opportunity to learn what happened.
Well, I think he just
Request
automatically
docking.
assumed he did a better
Operational
job
until a
when he was
full
looking at
Yes.
his
analysis
logs.
has been completed, and
100%.
we can understand
Like
the cause
that,
of the
it's just
megaship's
like
destruction.
the healing. Like
Request
you're,
docking.
Oh, got top heals, and it's like, oh, I'm very down a couple times. So
Like Bell
he goes
always
and
gets
attacks.
top heals.
If he assumes that he's gonna get top heals one, just like I
Oh,
think
well,
he's
like-
actually realizing the fact that he had even admitted that his build is going to get worse and worse over time. I think he understands that his build is just not
recently established itself in several alliance
what it
systems,
needs
but its
to
megaship
be,
in Riot, Chariot of Rhea,
even
has
even
found
in the
itself
current
blockaded by system
phase.
security and refused permission to offload cargo or personnel.
Yeah.
A broadcast was
I
made
nearly
by
got top
Fergus
heals
Cassidy,
even without the Shadow Priest.
CEO of the Riot Mining Coalition.
Wow.
Councillor Kane is right to say that Sirius is acting illegally.
Oh, I need to go
Prime
get
Minister did not
change the
consult us
batteries.
or
I'll be
any
right
other
back.
allied faction on working with them, and there's good reason to be skeptical of their motives. We regard the Chariot of Rhea as an intruder and insist that it leaves immediately. Leon Rui has assured Alliance leaders that Sirius Corporation will only be collaborating.
What ship should
on
I build as a
anti-Valkyrie
bounty hunter when I
defense
got the
projects.
money? No
He stressed
engineering.
that there will be no disruption to any local civil or commercial activity.
Oh, I would say, well, you're probably one of the big ones, right?
Don't know. If it's a big one, I'm gonna do the Anaconda.
Commented on the
Yeah.
situation. Many allied systems welcome
Probably
the news
medium,
that
I
our
would
military
Yeah,
say.
is
if I'm
being
thinking
bolstered
medium,
by
it's just
Sirius
for me, it's a
but others
hard
expressed
call
disapproval,
between the
particularly among the
Completed.
older
like
world
Crate
where
Mark II or the
populations tend to
Python.
be more skeptical of change.
Yeah,
What
I think the
happens in Riot
Python's
could
just too
determine
weak.
whether or not the new
When it comes
defense
to the
pact
shields, I
becomes
think Crate
widely
would be the better
accepted.
option.
Oh, I see what's going on
Arisa
too.
addresses
He
the
so
Empire.
Bellbear
The
Bellbear
Imperial
doesn't
Senate
have
has
Shadow
shared
Priest
a
anymore
personal
either.
message from Emperor
And
Arisa
now
Lavigny
all of
Duval,
the
who has
parses
been in a
favor
secure location for nearly a year. The brief
all the
statement
parses
was
favor
broadcast
Banana
on all public channels.
heavily.
Citizens of
Like
the
Banana
Empire,
does 2
be
to 3
assured
times
that
as
your
much healing as
Emperor is
everybody else
alive and
on
well.
every
I
encounter
regret that my
and on trash.
temporary seclusion has lasted for so long, but I have remained in contact with the Senate during this time. I was advised to depart from Capital when Imperial intelligence warned me about a legitimate
Is that when he
NMA
is using a Shadow
assassination
Priest?
attempt, and of
Yeah, that's when
Royalist
he's using Shadow Priest
sympathizers within
and
the highest
Shaman.
levels of our
He's getting 2 to 3 times everybody else's healing on every encounter.
Once the work of this loyal agency is complete, I will
Yeah,
continue my
he's
work in
just
leading us toward a
making
prosperous
himself
future.
look good for people
Ion
outside
Akimar
of the guild.
reported that this address was welcomed by a relieved empire, adding that it was vital to root out all Marlinist traitors. The Imperial
What a
Herald noted
waste.
that the Emperor seemed to absolve Imperial intelligence of the allegations that it was
I got
secretly
so
enabling the
close to
NMA.
getting up there on
However,
trash
a caution was
heals.
sounded by Princess Ashley
Like in
Duval.
in
Arisa
in
has
trash
communicated
fights
to the
on
Senate in the same manner
Hyjal.
for months.
Like without the shatter, I'm almost getting to the same level as the
alleviate my concerns regarding her well-being. I would be
the
delighted
druids.
to host a suitable event if she will accept my invitation
just need like
to
a little bump. I just feel like if I had Shadow Priest, I would be there.
Conflict erupts in the Riot system. Pilots Federation alert.
And the best part
The
is
Riot
all
Mining
that
Coalition
healing
has
pretty much gets
declared
dumped
its
straight
intent
into
to
tanks,
remove the
which
Sirius
I
Corporation
feel like we've been
presence
having
from its
problems
home
keeping
system.
tanks up.
The megaship Chariot of Rhea arrived
Well, yeah,
in
that's what I'm
Riot as
saying.
part
Like,
of
if
Sirius
people were
Corporation's
dying, and
new
that's
role
why
as
you
the
were,
Alliance's strategic defense partner.
Specifically the
Systems
tanks.
controlling faction
yeah,
ordered it
then
to withdraw.
he should have
The
switched the
megaship's
Shadow Priest, if
non-compliance
there
has
was one,
resulted in skirmishes targeting
into the
Sirius
healing group, because
forces.
it's not a DPS
Fergus
issue,
Cassidy,
it's a
CEO of
a
the
healing
Riot Mining
issue.
Coalition, announced
Fun fact,
we
on
fully
trash
support
fights
Councillor
in
Kane's
Hyjal,
position that
over
Sirius
the entire
Corporation
Hyjal
is
raid,
operating
I healed
illegally
you
under
more than
Alliance
Smooth Brain.
law. Therefore, we will defend our territory from this aggressive foreign entity.
And
A response was broadcast
I
by
healed
Captain
Fracto 5
Delphina
times more
Dominguez
than
of the
anybody
Sirius
else.
Navy, who commands the Chariot of Rhea. Our presence is authorized by the military contract between Sirius Corporation
Well,
and the
there was
Alliance
several
Defense
times
Force.
I feel where
If local forces continue to attack, we will have no
basically
option but to
tanking
defend
something.
our assets.
Because
The fighting is not believed to
it
have
was,
reached surface level and
daunting.
is expected to remain a
Smoothbrain
shift-based
doesn't really take as
conflict.
much damage as
To rally support from
anybody else.
independent pilots, both factions
anything
are offering
in that
access to
scenario.
permit
no,
zone
and
systems.
he shouldn't. Fracto.
Who's the-
Real Coalition will
Bracto
sponsor
gets
distribution of
absolutely
an Alios system
annihilated.
permit, while Sirius Corporation
Yeah.
will
Well,
authorize
Like when those
permit
A-bombs
to
come
Sirius
out,
system.
I
Prime Minister
lead
Edmund
with
Mahon
my
has
max rank
ordered the
holy
Rio
light. Because as soon as the bomb hits him, it'll stun him if he doesn't have that potion up. And the maybe the second basic attack that the A-bomb does like 78% of his health or some shit like that.
Claims that the faction has the right to
So I'm just
Yeah.
spamming my biggest heals on Fracto. to keep
He
him up.
has to tank that
New
because
starports created for Colonia
there's
Bridge.
too many mobs.
Pilots
but, yeah.
Federation alert.
And as long as we can interrupt
Six starports have been
the casters,
completed along the travel corridor between
it sucks,
Colonia
but
and the core
I can
systems.
keep him up.
Brewer Corporation
And by the end of it, I'm completely drained of mana. I have nothing left. And then I'm sitting and drinking while the next wave is running at us.
Closer to the Colonia system.
It's
Well,
it's
when
nasty. I don't have time to drink
Zerai Station
because I gotta
When
do
I'm-
buffs.
WODB538
On those
system.
polls, I actually go
Pelgrim
a lot of the
Gateway
time
in the
because
NGC 653
I have to do AOE damage, which
Sector ZEX
actually drains my mana
system.
too quickly.
Vladimir
So I
McDougal's
can't do
triumph
anything
in the
definitely. I
Flyedge
can basically do
VNWC451 system.
hit enough to
Cannon
clear
complex in the
the
Pruafo
pack, and then I got a
MIBB1
drain.
system.
Oh, that's disgusting. So looking at heals done to friendly, I'm actually
Chromium relay
lowest
in the
heals
Flyedge
on all of the tanks, which is actually bad.
At present,
For
the
a Hydra?
starports are not fully
Yeah.
operational and only provide rearm,
Well, not lowest
refuel and repair
on every
services.
single one. So like
Basic
Fracto,
commodity
I'm second
trading has
lowest
also
heals.
been established to
directly to
accommodate
Fracto.
pilots selling construction
Smooth
Oh.
Brain, I'm last heals by a extremely wide margin. Ocus, I'm not. I didn't even heal Ocus.
Damn.
Mint God, I'm third highest. Rosal, third highest. Taxi, second highest. Owl, second highest. Kilvin, second highest. Licorice, highest by an extreme margin. Sagler, second. Bellbear, third. Kureko, second. Barely healed Molly. Syl, I did twice everybody else's healing on Syl. Kalissa, nearly twice everybody else's healing. Firethorn, second. Ivana, second. Banana,
and to
third.
supply tritium fuel. A fourth phase of the Colonia
Somebody's
Bridge
pet, last heals.
project is scheduled to begin on the 10th of
last
February,
heals on that
which
pet.
will aim to
Second
complete
on this
construction
pet.
and add a broader range of facilities.
Twice
Brewer
everybody
Corporation was
else's
able to
healing
meet
on
all of its
myself.
targets for phase 3 due to the considerable
Third on Benedictus,
amount
second
of raw
on
materials delivered by the
Rochambeau.
galactic community. The names of the
First
new
on
starports
Molly,
were selected by those pilots
second on
who made the
Tazi.
greatest contribution.
First on Yesherin by like twice everybody else's healing.
To the
First
initiative.
on Cool Chains.
Azimuth has survived
First on Ezra
Warren's
Mav.
Aegis. Information
everybody in the
recovered
ring.
from the Alexandria has prompted Aegis
So
to
it
insist
sounds to
that
me
it was
like
not
in terms of like hitting
responsible
the target, I actually do more
and
raid
cargo.
than I do tank
The
healing
wreckage
during
of
trash.
the Alexandria was recently located in the Rego TC XB29
Actually, I don't know.
Zero system.
That does look
There were
kind
no
of bad.
survivors, but fragments
On
Point
paper,
that
it
out.
looks really bad.
officer's log were found.
Yeah, he'll
Chief
be so mad.
Administrator Carter Armstrong published this statement on
Definitely
behalf
don't
of
point
Aegis.
that out to Banana,
The
although
logs
he might
made
have
by
already
Captain
seen
Jacob
it.
Morales tell
I'm
a
sure he
bleak
did.
tale. The Alexandria was deliberately sabotaged to leave it stranded and powerless. They
Yeah, Fracto, being the tank who takes the most damage, I actually did fourth
met by an unidentified
fourth
group
heals out of
posing
5
as a
healers.
rescue team who slaughtered most of the crew and hijacked the Guardian artifact.
The only person who performed worse
The
than me on
survivors
tank killing was
later
Ro.
made a desperate attempt to initiate the hyperdrive, which sadly led to
Which
their
makes sense because
We
he's
can now
not a
prove
tank
that
killer.
the Alexandria's loss was not
But
caused
then if
by
I check
negligence.
like heals, I'm third
Saved
place in
by the
heals
Bowman report.
overall
In reality,
out of 5.
the megaship was
Who
snared in a
should
trap
on
laid by an
those?
organized quasi-military force.
Who usually what?
Furthermore, Captain
first
Morales
on the
discovered
trash
that the raiders
in
worked for
Hydra.
someone they referred to
Bellbear.
as the Witch. That
Bellbear
name
got
was
topped
mentioned
by
in logs
like only
discovered.
100,000 heals.
About
Banana.
At,
So it's like 1.34 million, then 1.33 million for Banana, and then 1.15 million for me, 1.11 million for Ro, and 781.5k for Benedictus.
and remains focused on aggressive xenological
Benedictus got 60% overhealed because I snipe all of his
Aegis
heals.
must be reinstated immediately to counter
Yeah,
this
Ro should be
dangerous
getting more kills
organization
than he
before
is,
more
but he's
lives are
also
lost.
missing the totem.
He's missing the totem, and also
Defies
I'm kind of
Imperial
doing his
decree.
job.
The affiliated
Because I'm spot
counterterrorism
healing
unit is actively
from time to time.
investigating Imperial intelligence,
Yeah,
despite the Senate
he wants to
ordering it to
do
cease
anything,
operations.
he should be able to hit.
Inspector Mara Clark,
Sniping,
one of
everything,
ACT's
raid.
co-leaders,
Oh,
told the media,
Interestingly enough,
"We are
though,
convinced that
like
elements within
when
Imperial
I'm doing
intelligence
this,
provided
when I make the
support to
decision to heal
NMLA.
somebody from raid,
Our view
generally
is
the
that a
tank,
modified
like I'm
version
starting
of
from
the
a
Omega
position
Grid
that the tank is
software
full
was
health.
applied to
Orbit
the
lines.
terrorists, allowing them to
So-
build their own dark comms network. Thanks to Captain Saskia Landau's
Either-
inside knowledge, we are learning how to detect a
Either
unique
I'm just
identifier
horrible
associated
at
with
doing
the
my
network
job,
employed
my
by the
assigned job,
NMLA.
or
Our
I'm
actions may have
feeling during
political
the raid
repercussions, but this
in the
task
moment
force is
that
dedicated to finding and
raid
destroying
healing
the
isn't being
NMLA.
done and I'm
We
taking
must
over.
follow the trail wherever it leads. Civil and military leaders in the Empire have reacted with outrage.
But
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to
Sending
interpret
Zonin
that
and
because
Are we
anecdotally,
expected to
when I'm
risk
not
our
there,
citizens'
people have
lives
a
by
harder
letting our
time
security services
getting
be
through the content.
compromised?
So I'm
How
told.
might the Alliance or
but-
Federation respond if we attempted to hack into Interpol or the FIA? However,
So maybe
a
I'm
plea for
preventing deaths in
cooperation
the
was
raid.
made by Princess Aisling Duval. If
No,
nefarious groups within our empire have
I
helped
feel
the
like we don't
NMLA,
have
we
great
must
raid
uncover the
healing
truth. I firmly
power.
believe that the Emperor herself
Like,
remains
to
in
me,
danger, and ACT might
If we
help
have
us to
3
learn her
Resto
fate.
Shaman doing Chain Hill, the
Would be
Sirius
better,
Corporation
yeah.
ejected from Riot.
raid can go up.
Pilots Federation alert.
The raid healing
The
is
Riot
covered.
Mining Coalition
The-
has
it- it's
succeeded in
just,
forcing Sirius
and
Corporation to
quickly
withdraw
at
from
that.
the Riot system.
Whereas,
Despite the Megacorp's strategic
you know,
defense pact with the
Bellbear
Alliance, Riot's
Frame
controlling
rate.
faction claimed the Sirius
um,
Megaship Challenge
Banana,
Frame rate.
whoever else
was an
on
illegal
out heals, it's
This
one
resulted
person
in
at a
open
time.
conflict, which
Whereas as raid healing
ended
maybe
with
like
Sirius Corporation's defeat.
a priest or
Fergus
shaman,
Cassidy,
multiple
CEO
people.
of the Riot Mining Coalition,
Like you're killing 6 people with 2 heals.
Maximum
Whereas-
impulse.
To hit that same
submitted this message
Request
amount of
docking.
with the
healing,
support
you
of
have
many
to have
brave pilots.
Request
6
which has
people
prevented
kill 6
Sirius from
individual people. I mean, there's no.
All
comparison.
stop.
That's why I don't understand why Rose healing is
using its claws
higher.
into the Riot system.
You just gotta be
I
doing
hope
something.
our victory will convince the Alliance's leaders
Yeah,
to
looking
think
at
twice
Rose
about their deal
healing
with
for
the devil.
Fracto, bottom,
Captain
heal,
Delfina Dominguez has
smooth,
confirmed that
second
Sirius
bottom,
Corporation has
second
started to
bottom on
withdraw
Ocus.
from
What's
Riot.
what's
The
his
Megaship
activity
Chariot of
level?
Rhea will leave Riot and jump
Rose
to the Leasty
activity
system
level. It's
pending
gotta
further
be-
discussions with allied leaders.
Should be
Se-
like 99.
70%.
Confirmed that permits
Yeah,
to
that's-
the
that-
Aelioth and
there's no-
Sirius systems
why?
have been allocated to independent pilots.
It should be like
depending
in
on
the
the
90s
faction they
unless he has to
supported
move
during
around.
the
But we're
conflict.
talking about trash
The Assembly has held
and
emergency meetings to
Hygel at
debate
that,
this
so
turn of
there is
events.
moving around.
Councillor Ainsley
Okay.
Niven,
Mine's
who represents the
81%,
Riot system, delivered a
and
warning to Prime
Banana
Minister
and
Marr.
So
You
Bananas
have
is
invited
92 and
Sirius
Bellbear is
Corporation to
88.
provide military aid against the Thargoids, but without seeking the approval of those we
So
are pledged
I don't
to
know.
protect.
I mean, it's
Well,
not as
not
good
the
as
way of the
everybody else,
Alliance.
but
No
The
matter how
druids
grave the
should be
threat,
higher because they can heal while on the move, but the
help
let's
needed to
actually
crack
look
the
at an
NMLA's
encounter because
network.
that's better for activity
Pilots
tracking.
Federation alert. The The affiliated
Banana
counterterrorism
is
unit has launched an effort to locate
99%,
and decipher the
rounds
NMLA's
to
dark comms
99%
network.
activity.
The request was sent
Row
by
is
Captain Saskia
89,
Landau, one of
rounding down to
ACT's co-leaders.
89% activity.
ACT is working to gain
Bellbear
access
is
to the Omega
98.
Grid version that was provided to the NMLA by its mysterious
On this,
benefactors.
what is this,
Most of our
Asgalore?
agents
I was
sailed from
80,
the
and
ISS has been
Benedictus
recalled,
was
and some Senate
96.
leaders are blocking
I
our
think I died on
progress.
this one.
Therefore, we urgently need
Oh, no,
support
I
from
remember what
independent
happened.
pilots, which will contribute to
I'm
our
pretty sure I
wider
got
efforts
doomed,
to decrypt the
and
network.
then I died.
To begin
from
with,
Oh,
doom.
we
yeah.
have triangulated
Yep.
the possible location of an Omega Grid beacon somewhere within the HIP-290 system. If
Right
it
at the
can be
very
found,
freaking beginning,
this will
too. I was the first person to get doomed, which was stupid.
validate our strategy and quickly lead to
Yeah, I
further
would say
discoveries.
that
Messages relayed across this
that
network are
would
likely to be
indicate to
encrypted.
me that
Our analysts have put together a partial cipher key from
he's
other
doing
data.
something wrong.
Any
89%.
files recovered from the beacon may help with the
Can you
deducing the
imagine
rest
if he
of
was
the
up there
cipher.
where he should
If
be?
the beacon in the HIP-290
Basically
Let's say he
on
had to
is
move
found,
around a little
any
bit.
pilot who
Because
scans it can
unless
expect further
he actually has
instructions
to
on
move during the
subsequent
encounter,
days.
he should be
The
basically
partial
at
cipher
99%
key is as
because he's
follows.
always hitting.
A equals H, B
Chain him.
equals G,
He
C
would be
equals
hitting nothing
J,
else.
E equals L,
So looking
M
at Black
equals K,
Temple.
L equals Q, N
Oh, what
equals
the
T,
hell?
O equals V, P
I was
equals U,
gone,
Q
and I
equals
got, so
X,
I'm, so
S
because I was
equals Z,
gone,
T equals Y,
I got
U equals B,
57%
V
activity.
equals A,
Mhm.
W equals
Benedictus
B.
got 76.
Hudson
Bananas at
attempts to
91.
presidential limit.
Row got
The federal government has
73%.
announced plans to extend Zachary
But he still
Hudson's
managed to get,
term
he
as
snagged top
president
heels
beyond the legally
by,
allotted
like,
span.
barely.
Every
Literally
Federation
barely, he got
president
top
serves
heels.
a single term of 8 years.
I'm wondering why he's so low on activity. Is it because he's running out of mana? Is he?
No, he stopped casting. He's moving around a lot and then stopped casting.
Delivered the proposal to Congress.
Because I sniped his heels.
And all signs point to further
Which,
challenges
again, he
to
shouldn't be
the
doing,
term.
because he should just let it go
It
through.
shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't be stopped. It shouldn't stop casting. Even if you stop his main heal, it's worse for him from a heal protection perspective.
It is therefore in the public interest
When he
that we
casts,
temporarily
when he
suspend
cancels
the
his heal,
arbitrary
gets no
8-year
heal off that
limitation
cast,
to allow President
special
Hudson
cast
to
that he
continue
did,
steering
and then
the
he
Federation through the coming
again
storms. Shadow President Felicia
when he
Winters
would
condemned
have
the
had
proposal.
2 kills.
Hudson has already violated
If
the
you
Federal
healed the
Accord
main
with
target
his
pool,
surveillance laws, but now we can see
he still
how
has
it
2
will
branch
value
offs
our
that would have killed
Constitution.
people. So yeah, he's just. You should, I think I told Banana this. I told basically Banana that Shaman should never be canceling a heal unless, like really the only time to cancel a heal is when the tank's about to die.
Hudson enjoys the support of his entire cabinet and a majority of the Republican
Possibly
Party.
maybe when
The fall of
DPS
Aegis.
is about to die.
Shutdown procedures for the
Otherwise, you
anti-Xeno
should never be
organization are
canceling it.
continuing, despite Aegis's warnings that Azimuth has returned. Conrad Sterling reported on the situation for Vox
Like every
Galactica.
cast, you're
We
gonna
now know that the
free people
Alexandria
unless
megaship
someone
was targeted by a
kills
high
the certain you're failing to pull.
Star Force that could be
But
Azimuth
even still, you're still
Biochemicals,
getting
the
killed by
200-year-old
2 other people.
corporation which owned the Adamastor and
Ah, only person in the guild on right now. I guess it is 1 in the morning.
Hesperus. In the face
Yeah,
of
I
this new
always thought there was
evidence,
something wrong with
Aegis
those
leaders
healing,
have
and that
petitioned
does
for it to
prove
be
to me that
reinstated.
he's not.
Even while
It's not a
accounting
gear
for this
issue.
new
It's
evidence,
it's
the Ballard
He's
report
playing-
has
he's playing it
exposed the
wrong.
litany of organizational
Yeah.
failings of Aegis. There is still a broad consensus among politicians that
I mean,
the
well,
organization should
that can be
adapt
fixed.
to repel the
Activity-
Thargoids.
His activity
Many
is
senior
not
military
maybe as high as
figures
Druid if he has to hit.
have switched
That's just a
focus
given,
to
because a
Aegis'
Druid can heal
controversial
on the
rival
fly.
salvation, despite his
But
mysterious
as far as
nature.
activity goes,
As one Imperial
he
Navy
should be
admiral succinctly
in
put
the
it,
mid-90s at the
Salvation's
very
methods
least,
have
if he doesn't have to risk.
proved more effective in
Like,
counteracting
if
the
it's
Thargoid
a
threat.
fight where he literally
The
does
issue
have
of
to risk,
military
he should be
staff
99.
defections also appears to have been resolved.
Because he will
Alliance,
never
Federal
stop
and
getting
Imperial fleets have open channels of
Like, he
secondment.
should be smashing the Chain Hill, but while it's casting. Smashing it over.
allowing
over and
naval
over and over
crews
and
to
over.
voluntarily
That's all-
take positions
literally
aboard
all you do.
Salvation's vessels without resigning
Like
their
you've
commissions.
cast chain
However,
and you've already got
one
another
of Aegis's requests has been
target
authorized.
task and you're
There
just
will be a
smashing chain
public
again.
service to posthumously
And then it
award
goes off
medals
on
of
the
honor to
target
Captain
that you just
Jacob
targeted
Morales
and just
and
left
the
another
4,000
one.
people who
All that
lost their
past them
lives
and
aboard the
hitting chain hill.
Alexandria.
And the only
Warp 10.
variance is
Concerns raised over a
your
now
Warp 10.
serious pact. The recent battle in the Riot
spell ring.
system has caused
Engage
Sirius
Warp 10.
Corporation to question the terms of its partnership with the Alliance.
And if you have a
The
Shadow
Alliance
Priest,
Tribune's
you don't
political
really care
correspondent
about
Vanya
that for the most
Driscoll
part.
reported, when Sirius Corporation megaships arrived in
As
full
long
Alliance
as you're
systems, it's fair to
on
assume
the
they
rotation,
anticipated
so like you use mana,
Charging.
pop a mana
of
potion,
public
that
resistance. But being
Man
directly
attack
attacked
pool
by
and
the
doesn't
Riot
waste any
Mining
mana.
Coalition clearly
And
wasn't
then,
part of their risk assessment. Leon Rui has urgently sought assurances from the
mana
Alliance that
tide,
such conflicts
so you can maybe get 2 mana attacks in the fight, and then
will not happen
I mean,
again.
pretty much
The
most fights you
Megacorp
should be able
CEO
to
claims that he has a duty to protect his employees from
get
aggression by their own clients.
2 mana pots in there
response,
unless
Prime
the fight
Minister
lasts
Edmund
less than
Marr
5
personally
minutes.
guarantees that this
Because I
unfortunate
think it
incident
was
will
Rubber
not,
lights.
stressing that serious personnel
cooldown
have
on
been welcomed
pots?
in
I
the
can't
Alioth,
remember.
Arampox,
Yeah.
and Aegean
Searching
systems.
database.
Yeah, it's 2
Added that
minutes.
the
You should-
Alliance Defense Force
basically, you
is
should be
working
able to
closely
cast
with
2 of those
Admiral
for
Nicholas
fights.
Glass, the Sirius Navy's
And then you got 2 mana
representative.
tides,
But
that's
others
it.
in the
The
assembly
surface
are now
2 or 3 minutes.
700,
Cooldown.
1,300
questioning
And
the
then,
wisdom of the Strategic Defense Pact.
Hell, sometimes
It's a
Although
5-minute
Councillor
cooldown. You can
Nagato
only do
Kane's opposition
it
to Marn is
typically
often
once or
viewed as
maybe
predictable,
twice.
more members now agree with her that many allied factions will reject the
considered to be a very large gas giant planet.
So a lot of those fights are
assertion that
decent. I
Sirius
shouldn't feel those
Corporation
off
is an
during a
ally
fight.
to be
That's
trusted.
all. Just saying.
Arisa rescued from Yelong
Like, it's okay to
captivity.
pop them
Emperor
outside early.
Arisa Navigni Deval has been found
If
alive
it
after
means
being
you're gonna have another one
imprisoned by the
towards the end
private
of the fight,
military firm
you know what I mean?
Darkwater Inc.
If it's,
Yeah.
let's say it's 5 minutes. If it's 5 minutes,
A special report on recent
That's what I do with my
And-
mana pots is I pop them early so
Stand by.
oh yeah,
that I can get the cooldown out of the way.
Yes,
Once
prompted
in
much
the
pop it as
the
early
red
as you
stars,
can
Senate
without
claimed
wasting
that she
too
was
much
being
mana.
kept
So
safe from
basically,
assassination attempts by the
be
NMLA,
almost
and that
exactly
surface
on or
temperatures
just below getting
remained
max
in
mana
contact with her.
when you
In
use
truth,
that pot.
she was being
And
held
then,
captive by the
because of course you
NMLA's
don't
secret
waste any mana
benefactors.
where you
Frameshift drive
use the pot
This
and
group
then
of
it
imperial senators referred
takes you
to
a
themselves
little
as
bit
the
and you
Lords of
missed out
Restoration.
on 200
They were
mana or
revealed
something.
only after ACT recruited
And then
independent.
once it's off cooldown, you use it again because by that time it's definitely not going to bring you to full, right? But like on 6-7 minute encounters, I mean, you should be able to get
help
2
decipher the
mana
terrorists'
tides off in there.
dark comms network.
Frameshift drive charging.
Chancellor Blaine immediately ordered the Imperial Guard into battle against Darkwater soldiers. A ship fleeing from the Summerland system was intercepted, aboard which was a cryogenic pod containing
Because the nice thing about mana type is it
the Emperor
does it in
herself.
pulses.
She was swiftly returned to Capital and is currently under the care of the Imperial Palace medical team. The IISS has launched a security operation based on ACT's information. This reveals that groups within the Senate, Darkwater, and Imperial Intelligence formed a long-running conspiracy to fund and empower the NMLA. Senators Alberto Gueron, Carl Nerva, Ursula Torquatus, and several others have been placed under arrest. ACT has stated that it will provide additional information soon. Colonia Bridge project enters final phase. Pilots Federation alert. Deliveries have been requested in the Alcor and Colonia systems to implement services to the Colonia Bridge starports. A press release from Brewer Corporation provided the details. The fourth and final phase of our Colonia Bridge project will take place over the next 4 weeks. Our goal is to finish constructing the starports that were recently added to the route between the Colonia and Alcor systems. For the first week, we require deliveries of coffee, emergency power cells, geological equipment, and liquid oxygen to McDonald Settlement in the Alcor system and Jacques Station in the Colonia system. If we receive sufficient commodities, we can add universal cartographics and Vista Genomics to all 6 stations. Everyone at Brewer Corporation was impressed by the galactic community's dedication to improving the travel corridor to the Colonia region. For this week's initiative, contributing pilots have the opportunity to be rewarded with a generous number of credits. In subsequent weeks, we will be offering a variety of additional rewards. Following feedback from our shareholders, we also plan to install beacons to recognize the major contributors to all phases of the Colonia Bridge project.
Scanning for
The top 10
information.
contributors of every past and upcoming Colonia Bridge initiative will be listed on these beacons to immortalize the names of these pilots. The Colonia Bridge starports currently offer rearm, refuel and repair services as well as basic commodity trading. The second, third and fourth weeks of this phase will focus on adding further services. New Thargoid assaults in 3 systems. The HIP 12314, Dan and Norni systems have come under heavy attack by Thargoid vessels. Vox Galactica featured this report by freelance war correspondent Jade Sanderlin. The Thargoids have been unusually aggressive in recent months, as attested by the drifting wreckages of many independent ships. When Salvation repelled their forces from the Delphi, Maya and Merib systems in December, some believed it was only a matter of time before the aliens retaliated. It appears that time has come. Although the Thargoid species is often viewed as territorial, on this occasion they have pushed further towards human space. Authorities in all 3 systems were unprepared for the incursions and have sent out a general call for assistance. The superpowers are still in the process of forming their anti-Xeno task forces and thus unable to help.
Acknowledge.
Fortunately, despite
Cat
Aegis
left me.
being officially defunct, some of its support megaships have yet to be decommissioned. These have been staffed with emergency crews and rushed into service in all 3 systems. As pilots race in combat once more, many must be wondering if the risks are now even greater. Have the Thargoids extended their reach into
Lincoln Golf, Romeo 8. We look forward to receiving your destination, Commander. Please follow docking procedures and enjoy your visit.
human space? Which systems might